Hi, I'm Stuart. Welcome to my YouTube channel, or welcome back. Thanks for viewing my video. In this video, I'm going to do BookTube Secret Santa number 2. Pat at Book Chat with Pat 8668 did actually 4 of these now. In Pat's first video, she chose me as one of her 5 BookTube creators. Per Pat, BookTube Secret Santa. This lovely idea was created by Heather at Heather Reads and Meg at Books Off the Beaten Path. Heather says, how to do this tag. Pick 5 BookTube creators and pretend that you are choosing a book or 2. Give them as a Secret Santa present. Which BookTube creators will you pick and what books will you buy for them? First, I want to say that I guess I was supposed to wear a Santa hat in my first video. I didn't have one, so I got one. So as you can see, I got it on now to help get into the festive mood. The first booktuber I created for this video is Gavin at Genre Books 23. Gavin's a real lover of pulp magazines. He searches them out. He does an amazing job doing it. The book I'm choosing for Gavin is Bookery's Guide to Pulps and Related Magazines, revised 3rd edition by Tim Cottrill. This book is available in Amazon UK, and Gavin is English, so this would be something he would be able to be sent to him. I'll just say what Amazon UK says about it. Recent years have seen a massive upsurge of interest in vintage pulp fiction magazines. Attracted to the outraged stories and lurid covers that many such periodicals sported, a new generation of collectors has taken to the bloody pulps. As a result, prices of these fragile collectibles have soared, especially at auction. In January 2024, Heritage Auctions sold a copy of the incredibly rare October 1912 issue of the All-Story, which included Tarzan and the Apes, for more than $250,000. That's the exception, though. Perfectly desirable pulp magazines in decent condition can be found for as little as $10 and $20 each. You just have to know where to look for them, what significance they have, and how much to spend on them. That's where the new Bookery's Guide to Pulps and Related Magazine comes in. Collectibles dealer Tim Cottrill, whose legendary Bookery fantasy store has welcomed customers for more than 40 years, published his first pulp price guide in 2001. It was called The Ultimate Guide to the Pulps. Some years later, it was followed by Bookery's Guide to Pulps, with 2 editions published under that title. He has steadily and rigorously continued to accumulate sales data on pulps. The numbers you'll see in this latest edition reflect transactions made as recently as the summer of 2025. Cottrill carefully tracks prices realized at online auctions, transactions on eBay, and various book shows around the country. The revised 3rd edition of Bookery's Guide to Pulps has been compiled from that data. And additional information called from other sources makes this 410-page tome as much a reference book as a price guide. Even if you're not a die-hard collector of the things yet, you find that this information fascinating, to say the least. If you are a die-hard pulp collector, this guide is a must-have. I do think from that description the author is basing his data on the U.S., but it still would be a good book of interest for Gavin. The next person I'm selecting a Secret Santa gift for is Nigel at Reading Ideas. Nigel buys a lot of vintage books, a lot of vintage sci-fi and other books at local charity shops in England, 50s, 60s, 70s. So I know he loves that, those types of books. The book I'm going to select for him is the 40th anniversary edition of the Martain Chronicles by Ray Bradbury. It is possible that Nigel's read this book. He's read so many books that I'm unable to be certain. But if not, I think he might like this book. This is a book that I read in my youth, and I borrowed it at a recent trip to the library, so I'm rereading it. It is the first book that Ray Bradbury wrote. And this specific edition is interesting because Bradbury, for this edition, wrote an introduction where he talked about the history, how this book came to be about, and it's quite interesting. So I think this is a very interesting read, which hopefully Nigel would like if he did in fact read it. The next person I'm going to select a Secret Santa gift for is Justin at Triumphal Reads. Justin reads a lot of history books. Nonfiction is his main area of interest, and he has some interest in archaeology. So the book I'm going to select for him is The Other Ancient Civilizations, Decoding Archaeology's Less Celebrated Cultures by Todd DaSilva. This is a book that I learned about by watching a video from Dr. Smiti Nathan, who is an archaeologist, and she has an archaeology channel. She recently started up an interesting podcast. I first got to know Smiti on her BookTube channel, A Book Smitten. She has a great BookTube channel, although she hasn't posted a video on there for a while, but she is actively posting on her archaeology channel. And she interviewed Todd DaSilva. And what makes this book interesting is this book, as you can kind of tell by the title, is looking into there's a lot of, in archaeology, the famous places to investigate, like Rome and Greece and China and the Middle East and places like that. But there's like some lesser known places. I'll read a little bit about what it says on the back. Journey through 15,000 years of history and uncover hidden stories of the past. The world has always been filled with vibrant cultures and civilizations, yet mainstream history is dominated by only a select few. In this book, Todd DaSilva invites you on an archaeological expedition across millennia and continents to discover the rich diversity of peoples that are often overlooked but have made monumental impacts that have shaped our modern world. From the world's first peace treaty to daring expeditions around the Pacific, 20 ancient and historic cultures from around the world are highlighted, offering an alternative view of history. Each chapter investigates the archaeological evidence we have for each culture, delving into their rise and fall and highlighting the magic and the mundane of everyday life in the past. We live key historical events, explore ancient sites, and marvel at astounding artifacts that change the way we understand history. I've not yet read this book myself, but I look forward to reading it. I'll try to remember to put a link to Dr. Smiti Nathan's channel. I'll try to remember to put a link to the specific podcast where she talked to Todd DaSilva. The next person I'm going to select Secret Santa gifts for is Elaine at Cobalt Dragon. The books that I'm going to select are the same as I selected for Leslie at Bookers and Purrs in my first video, but there's a reason for that. Elaine is the moderator of the Vampire Chronicles group, and in the last discussion, which was the discussion of Tale of the Body Thief and Memnoch the Devil, part of the discussion was about Anne Rice's religious history. She had been raised Catholic, but she went away from that faith, partly because a young daughter of hers died, and she did eventually reconnect. I'm not sure if she reconnected with Catholicism or another version of Christianity, but she did become faithful again. In Tale of the Body Thief and Memnoch the Devil, there was, especially in Memnoch the Devil, you could see that there was some thinking of Anne Rice questioning her faith and thinking about it and stuff. And that topic came up in the live chat, and that's when I thought it might be interesting to see if there was a biography of Anne Rice that discussed these topics. And that's where the first of the books I'm going to suggest for Elaine comes from. That book is Anne Rice Called Out of Darkness, A Spiritual Confession by Anne Rice, where she talks about these topics. And I thought I'd probably get that book myself at some point. I think it'd be interesting to read. And there's a second book that I thought Elaine might like, The Gothic World of Anne Rice, edited by Gary Hoppenstein and Ray B. Brown. It'd be interesting to get various perspectives on Anne Rice's work, which this book provides. It did come out in 1996 though, so possibly it's dated, but I thought it might still be an interesting read for Elaine. And the fifth BookTube creator I'm going to select a Secret Santa gift for is Nicole at Nicole's Bookish Nook. Nicole really liked Bunny by Mona Awad, so I thought she might also like We Love You Bunny by Mona Awad, which is the prequel to it. I have not read this book yet myself. It has gotten somewhat mixed reviews. I did see recently though one booktuber who liked it better than Bunny. And I'm sure this book is one she'd like to read. So this would be my suggestion for Nicole. I would be interested in what you thought of this video. Any suggestions you might have for Secret Santa gifts for people. If you have anything you like that or anything else you'd like to comment, please add a comment. If you can't think of anything else to comment, please add a Santa or a Christmas tree emoji. I hope you're having a wonderful reading week. I hope you're having a wonderful week in general. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, please subscribe, please hit the bell, get notified when I upload future videos.